Right behind me is one of the best neighborhoods in all of Baltimore City, Canton, and I'm going to share with you the 10 reasons why I think if you're moving to Baltimore City, you should consider Canton. The number one reason why I really like living in Canton is the people. When I moved here in '95, there was such a diversity of socio-economic backgrounds. You had blue-collar workers, you had professional workers, artists. It was a really interesting convergence of people. Now, there are people from Canton, but usually they left in the 80s or 90s and then came back and are having kids now, which is really cool. So when I came here in '95, the way that the formula of how it would work is you came here having fun, you met the love of your life, you got married or got pregnant, and then you moved out to the county. And then 2008, when the market went on a downturn, you saw a lot of people staying because they didn't want to do short sales or foreclosures and raise their kids here. So the schools have gotten better, the parks have gotten better. There's a whole infrastructure around families in the city, and that's why we love being here. Hey Grace, you've been in Baltimore City for 10 years and you've lived in Canton for 2 years. Mm-hmm. So if you're talking to somebody that's thinking about moving to Canton, what do you tell them?
I love the community here. I've met in the past 2 years some of my best friends, my neighbors. I play trivia every Tuesday night at the Canton local. I mean, these are my people now.
So Mark, you moved here from South Africa at 15. You came to Baltimore, what, 12 years ago?
Yep. And
you were in law school?
Yes, I moved to Baltimore for law school. Yeah.
And so the interesting thing about you is you got into politics. You ran for election for city council in Moss.
Right.
And then you got involved in the Canton Community Association. You've been the president of that.
That's right.
A number of years, really did the work.
5 years, yeah.
And then, so 2 weeks ago, you just win the primary to become our next state delegate.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you. We're so lucky to have you.
Thank you.
And yeah, we are, because you've done the work and people really in the community appreciate that. So, you know, you're a guy that is super involved, and if somebody's thinking about moving to the city, how would you pitch them on moving to Canton?
To me, what I love is how accessible it is. I can walk out of my house and get to everything that I need in walking or biking distance. I can get to the square with restaurants to see my friends. I can go to the gym, go to the doctor. I can get to my office. I can go to anything that I need. I can literally walk out of my door and be there in a couple minutes. And I love that about living here. That's
one of our reasons. The walkability, the people, the diversity, the convergence of people from all different walks of life. You know, it's awesome. So that's awesome. So Tanya, I thought I was a Canton OG moving here in '95, but you moved here in '88. So this is a two-part question. You moved here in '88 for a certain reason, and here you are 25 years later, and you're still here. Is it the same reason or is it different?
It's a different reason. You know, changes happen. You come for one reason, school, education, you grow through the different stages. But Canton's a place that provides kind of all of that. You know, it has the fun, it has that time. You've got to go through that part of everything, and then it's professionalism, and then it's like the next stages, and then you find like health and wellness and, you know, fitness and taking care of yourself, and Canton provides all of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's been great knowing you for all these years. It's you know, my number one reason for why I'm in Canton is the people, and you guys are some of the people that make us stay here in Canton. So you originally come from Mexico City.
Correct.
You come to the States, you moved to New York.
Yes.
And then a few years back you moved down to Baltimore City.
That is correct, yes.
And then you picked Canton of all the neighborhoods, of a city of neighborhoods. Why did you pick Canton?
Well, I'm a city person, come from Mexico City. My hometown in the United States could be New York, and then I moved to Canton many years ago. I won't say to an extent by default, I had a family living in Canton, so I got to learn the neighborhood, and I got to witness how it was growing, all the houses rehabbing. I prefer the location versus other places. I can be in DC in about half an hour. I like to visit Philadelphia. I can be there in less than an hour and a half. And I used to go back and forth to New York very often, so it was a convenient drive. So location, I like the people. I like to see how it continues to grow. It doesn't stop. New restaurants, new buildings, and people start like continue moving to Canton.
Yeah, that's awesome. So coming up in an episode soon, we'll show you guys Bayside Cantina, which Alfredo runs, one of the hottest spots in all of Canton. It's a waterfront Mexican restaurant, so stay tuned. So the number 2 reason why we think you should move to Canton is it's a great place to raise kids. Like I said earlier, I'm 53. I now have almost a 2-year-old, Flynn, and we couldn't think about raising him anywhere else than in Canton, in Baltimore City. There are parks, there are schools, there are daycare, and we really love it. I think Flynn loves it. The number 2 thing is raising your family in Canton. So the number 3 thing we love about Canton and all of the harbor neighborhoods is the walkability. I'm literally in front of my house, and within 2 minutes I can be on the waterfront promenade and walk to work in Fells Point. I can keep on going to downtown. I can walk around the promenade and get to Federal Hill. All neighborhoods we're going to do episodes for. If you want to go to Starbucks, it is like 2 minutes. The One Do, which is a more, a better coffee place, is like 3 minutes away. I got a Safeway grocery store, literally a 3-minute walk, and there's Whole Foods, 10-minute drive away. Another grocery store about 5 minutes away. The amenities of living here, the walkability, the bike trails, the waterfront promenade, it just makes an incredible lifestyle. I've been here since '95. My wife will not get me out of the city. Most of that time has been in Canton. I love this place. The walkability is the number 3 thing why I love it. 99% of the people you talk to that tell you why they moved to Canton or Fells Point or any of these waterfront neighborhoods will tell you it's because they went to a fantastic bar or restaurant. We have Canton Square with dozens of restaurants and bars, and you just fall in love with the place and the people. So the number 4 thing is the bars and restaurants. As you can see, there is just such a range of waterfront cafes, waterfront restaurants with pools. It is just speckled with fantastic restaurants of all different kinds, every different kind of flavor you can think of: Mexican food, Italian food, pho, you name it. It's just, it's a great place for bars and restaurants, and almost everybody that came down here, especially when I came down here for the bars and restaurants. Okay, reason number 5, of course, is the nightlife. Now, the nightlife, and this plays off of the bars and restaurants, number 4, right? The nightlife, the fun, the lifestyle down here, it's just been amazing. Now, it's changed since I moved down here in '95, like I've mentioned a few times, especially now at 53, having a kid that you just met. And it's still, when we want to go out to dinner, we have so many choices. When we want to go out and have fun, we have so many choices. So number 5 is the nightlife. So number 6, just like Fells Point, we have an amazing waterfront. We have housing on the waterfront. We have the waterfront promenade I've mentioned a few times. We have bars and restaurants, fantastic marinas. I mean, this place has multiple marinas that you can choose from depending on, what it is that you're looking for. So number 6, the waterfront, the promenade, the marinas. The number 7 reason why I love Canton, and I've lived here a long time, and it's a secret spot, don't tell anybody, the Corner Juice Bar. They put so much love into their juices, into their shakes. As you can see, it's just a really eclectic place. You can feel the love, the energy, and everything they do. It's just a fantastic place to visit. So number 7 is my secret spot, the Corner Juice Bar. Okay, the 8th reason why I love Canton, this is gonna sound strange, it's the green space in the parks. We have one of the highest rated parks of all urban areas, Patterson Park, which is the northern boundary of Canton. This park is amazing. It's huge, it's got a lake, it's got so much programming and activities for the kids and for the adults, and Audubon Society. I mean, there's just always something to do in Patterson Park. And then, as you can see down here in the Korean War Memorial, Canton Waterfront Park, today they're setting up for a First Thursday concert. There will be 8,000 people here tonight. WTMD, the radio station, have national acts that come in, and we walk over. My house is literally 5 minutes from here, and it's amazing. They have a dance section, they have vendors, and it's the first Thursdays across the summer where they have this huge event in this beautiful waterfront park right next to a really cool building called the Canton Cove, which is waterfront condos. That's it. The number 8 thing is the green space and parks. So the number 9 reason that I love Canton is the diversity in housing. You have small houses on alleys that are very affordable with a couple bedrooms and maybe one full bath, all the way up to waterfront townhomes and everything in between. There's apartment buildings galore, there's rehabs, historic renovations that have parking pads and garages. There's every type of housing. Now, there aren't single family homes and there aren't ranchers. This is the city. Canton, is about 5-10 miles outside of downtown, and when you've lived in the city for a while, it kind of feels like a suburb of, the real city, but we are the city, and it's certainly not the suburbs. The walkability is amazing, and you can live just about anywhere and walk to like 20 restaurants within 5 minutes. So this is number 9. This is what we love about the city, is the diversity in housing that's available. Hey guys, the number 10 reason of why we love Canton is access to highways. Literally, as I drive out my street, within 5 minutes I can be to all the highways going north, south, east, west, and it is amazing. So if you're thinking about moving to Maryland, especially Baltimore City, and you want more information on this neighborhood, Canton, I've lived in for years, reach out to us. Our contact information is in the post, and hope you enjoyed this episode.